My wife told her friends I'm just a wallet, while I was driving them to their weekend getaway. When I heard her words, something inside me changed forever. This morning, my phone blew up with 47 missed calls. I never thought a single car ride would change everything. I'm Jack Peterson, 35, married for 8 years to Sarah. Middle class. 2 kids. Mortgage. The whole American dream package. Last Friday, I was doing what I always do. Being the good husband. Driving Sarah and her 3 friends to their spa weekend. 4 hours in the car, luggage packed, kids dropped off at my mother-in-law's. That's when I heard it. Honestly, Sarah said to her friends, not even bothering to lower her voice, Jack is like a trained dog. You feed him, he wags his tail. So easy to control. Her friends laughed. A chorus of knowing chuckles. He thinks paying for everything makes him a good husband, another friend added. More laughter. I kept driving. Hands at 10 and 2. Eyes on the road. Nothing changed in my expression. When we arrived, Sarah didn't even look at me. Just grabbed her bag, slammed the car door, and said, "Don't forget to wash the sheets before I get back. They stink like you." I drove 5 hours back home in complete silence. What they didn't know was that I'd been preparing. Quietly. Strategically. Some people believe in immediate confrontation. I believe in letting betrayal expose itself. Revenge isn't a dish best served cold. It's a strategy best served precisely. The next 2 weeks were my masterclass in patience. Sarah had no idea what was coming. Our finances were joint, but I knew every single account, every transaction, every hidden detail. My job in financial consulting wasn't just a career, it was about to become my most powerful weapon. I started with our shared accounts. Quietly. Methodically. First, I transferred our joint savings, $42,000 we'd been saving for a new house, into a separate account. Not in her name. Not hidden. Just redirected. Our credit cards. I knew every single transaction. Those spa weekends. The designer bags. The girls' nights that cost more than our monthly grocery budget. I started documenting everything. My buddy Mike, who works in forensic accounting, became my unexpected ally. Off the record, I told him over beers one night. Casual. Calculated. The most interesting discovery came from her phone records. Those work calls weren't work at all. Late-night conversations. Frequent messages to numbers I didn't recognize. I wasn't doing anything dramatic. I was simply letting the truth collect itself. Her friends who laughed in that car? I knew their husbands. Their families. Not for revenge. Just information gathering. The most dangerous strategist isn't the one who attacks immediately. It's the one who understands that true exposure comes from patience. Sarah thought she was running a perfect con. She had no idea I was writing the script to her own destruction. By the time I was done, she would lose everything. Not just her marriage. Not just her reputation. But her entire carefully constructed life. This was going to be a masterpiece of personal justice. And I was just getting started. Social media is a weapon. And I was about to become its most precise operator. Those girls' nights, Sarah bragged about? I started piecing together the full picture. Her best friend Lauren was the first crack. A casual Instagram story revealed more than she intended. A tagged location at a restaurant 40 miles from where Sarah claimed she'd be. A message from someone named Ryan that made my stomach drop. My sister Rachel, who works in HR, became my unexpected intelligence network. Something's off, she told me after subtly digging through some connections. Lauren's husband had no idea about these frequent girls' nights either. I wasn't stalking. I was collecting evidence. The kids were staying at my mother-in-law's that weekend. Perfect timing. I had a completely open schedule to do some strategic investigating. One phone call to the spa where Sarah claimed to be that weekend revealed she'd never checked in. Another call to her work conference confirmed the same thing. Ryan, the guy from the mysterious text messages, worked at a local insurance company. Married. 2 kids. Seemed like the perfect family man from his social media. Seemed. I wasn't planning to confront anyone. Not yet. Some people attack immediately. I was going to let the truth build its own momentum. Sarah thought she was running a perfect con. She had no idea I was collecting the matches to burn her entire narrative to the ground. By the time I was done, she would lose everything. Not just her marriage. Not just her reputation. But her entire carefully constructed life. This was going to be a masterpiece of personal exposure. And I was just getting started. Precision is an art form. In personal warfare, it becomes a devastating weapon. The first crack in Sarah's perfect narrative came during our monthly neighborhood barbecue. I'd been quietly preparing for months, gathering every single piece of evidence with the precision of a surgical instrument. Our backyard was my chosen battlefield. Sarah arrived in her designer sundress, that perfect smile plastered on her face. She had no idea the walls were about to come crashing down. I presented the evidence systematically. Not dramatically. Just factually. Text messages. Travel records. Unaccounted for expenses. Each revelation was another nail in her carefully constructed facade. Our mutual friends watched in stunned silence. Lauren, her best friend, went pale. Her husband's face hardened as I showed him the screenshots of her own girls' nights that didn't add up. Ryan from the insurance company? Turned out his wife was about to get a very interesting set of documents. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't show anger. Just laid out the truth like a perfectly organized spreadsheet. Some of our neighbors had known Sarah since we first moved in. Their expressions changed from shock to something else. Disappointment. Disgust. Sarah tried to interrupt. To spin a narrative. But the evidence was overwhelming. I watched her perfect world start to crumble. Not with satisfaction. Just with a kind of clinical detachment. Some people believe in dramatic confrontations. I believe in letting evidence do the heavy lifting. Sarah thought she was running a perfect con. She was about to learn that perfect plans are often the first to fail. The first domino had fallen. And I was just getting started. Reputations are like house of cards. And I was about to blow. Sarah's carefully constructed social network began to disintegrate faster than she could manage damage control. The neighborhood group chats, PDA meetings, and local Facebook groups became a battlefield of truth. People who had once praised her girls' weekends started asking uncomfortable questions. The kind of questions that don't have easy answers. Her friend Lauren was the first to truly break ranks. Turns out, she wasn't as loyal as Sarah thought. One by one, her friends started distancing themselves. The soccer moms who used to invite her to wine nights? Suddenly, those invitations stopped. Her workout group? Ghosted her completely. Social media became a minefield. Screenshots of text messages. Detailed evidence of her lies. The perfectly curated image was crumbling in real time. Local networks began to see the truth. The late-night calls. The mysterious trips. The pieces started falling into place. Her own sister called me, apologizing for not seeing through Sarah's lies earlier. I didn't do anything dramatic. I simply let the truth do the heavy lifting. Social circles began to collapse. Friends who had once praised her lifestyle were now asking hard questions. Reputations were at stake. The most dangerous strategist isn't the one who attacks immediately. It's the one who understands that true exposure comes from patience. Sarah thought she was running a perfect con. She was about to learn that perfect plans are often the first to fail. The social web was unraveling. And I was watching it come apart, thread by careful thread. Some marriages end with a whisper. Mine ended with a calculated storm. The legal proceedings were nothing short of a strategic masterpiece. I didn't just want to divorce Sarah. I wanted to dismantle everything she had built. My evidence was comprehensive. Infidelity. Financial misconduct. Systematic deception. The kind of detailed investigation that would make a divorce lawyer weep with professional satisfaction. Her lawyer tried every trick. Character assassination. Claims of mutual fault. Attempts to paint me as the problem. I let the documents speak for themselves. Text messages. Travel records. Financial statements. Unaccounted expenses. Each piece of evidence was another nail in her marital coffin. The kids were my priority. Not revenge. Just protection. Our mutual friends who had once supported Sarah were now providing statements. Those hushed conversations, those moments of doubt, they became the final weapon in her destruction. I didn't seek revenge out of anger. I sought justice out of principle. The life insurance policy she thought would be her golden ticket? Completely restructured to protect our children's future. Some people believe in dramatic confrontations. I believed in letting truth do the heavy lifting. Sarah lost everything. Her reputation. Her social circle. Her carefully constructed life. And I walked away with something far more valuable. Integrity. And a promise kept to my children. Some stories end. Some lessons continue. 3 years after the divorce, life looked completely different. My reputation wasn't just restored, it was elevated. The kids were thriving. Joint custody worked because I made sure it worked. No drama. No fighting. Just focused on what mattered, our children. I'd learned something profound about relationships. About justice. About the kind of integrity that doesn't come from winning, but from principle. Sarah tried to rebuild her life. Moved to another town. Started over. Her attempts to reconnect or manipulate were met with a calm, firm boundary. The most interesting outcome wasn't my personal vindication. It was the way our children learned about integrity. My daughter, now 12, once asked me, "Dad, weren't you angry?" I told her the truth. Anger is a waste of energy. Living well is the best response. Some believe revenge is about making someone suffer. I learned it's about protecting what matters. About showing your true character when everything falls apart. The phone calls from Sarah eventually stopped. The desperate attempts to explain. To manipulate. To reconnect. I'd built something she could never touch. A life of personal integrity. A family legacy based on truth. Every challenge became an opportunity. Every setback, a lesson. The day my son won his school debate competition, I thought about Sarah. Not with anger. Not with satisfaction. Just with a clear understanding that truth always finds its way. Some people are defined by their worst moments. Others are defined by how they rise above them. I chose to rise.